What's going on, everybody? CaptainRoBear and crew here, totally not with the giggles before we start the show.
We're laughing now so we can cry later.
We don't know what you're talking about.
Why have the giggles when you can have the man's laughter?
Oh my god.
Man's laughter.
15 to 20 for laughing?
You can tell I sent that video to everyone in the
Raven, I was the same. I just kept going 15 to 20 for laughter. For man's laughter.
I have no clue what this is.
Because I couldn't find your username on Instagram. Let me show you really quick. Keep going.
This explains it. I don't use Instagram.
Twitch literally pulled out LMFAO. Wow. Automod has truly ascended into the tyrant. Laughter is no longer tolerated in the chat. That's ridiculous.
They're just trying to protect the sanctity of party rock. That's all it is.
Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, another episode in the copyright folder.
Oh, and that may be the quote of the week. Oh my.
Oh my god, my face hurts.
You guys are fantastic. Welcome, everyone. Anybody got big announcements they want to let the community know about before we get into the cat in the cradle?
And the silver spoon. Yes, I will take this one first because you may notice a weird name in chat. That is Raven is Tales, and yes, that is me. I've rebranded my channel to host more TTRPG content and collaborative storytelling content. And that, my friends, is huge because Wreck-It Raven was an era, okay? Like, it was an era. But girl, she tired. She going to bed, okay? She retired now. And we are now doing what we want to do in a way that we want to do it, and it's still me, and it's still beautiful, and we love it. And with that, make sure that you are checking out Twitter, because I do have a campaign that is starting next Tuesday on the channel that is yet to be announced, but I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss it, especially if you like Victorian horror. That's all I'm going to say. Mic drop. Boom.
Ooh.
Drak has already corrected my copy pasta fail. It is
All
changing
good.
now.
For me, I guess the main thing is I'm going to Big Bad Con. I'm going to be flying out tomorrow morning. So if you want to see me in person, you can see me there. Give me a heads up before you hug me. I'm a hugger, but I do like a heads up first. What else? I'm going to be in stuff, so keep an eye out. There's several things coming out that I'm either a project lead on or a player on, so just keep an eye out because we've got some really cool new systems and games that maybe you haven't heard of or heard a little bit about but haven't seen played. Yeah. Also, if you ordered Damon's Academy, which is a TTRPG book that Banana Chan, a good friend of mine, wrote, you should be getting physical. I think we recently got samples, the physical samples of them, so we got to hold them, actually check them out. So you're going to be getting those soon. To keep an ear and eye out for that. I got to write one of the adventures there, and my adventure was, imagine Strahd, but a woman, and she owns, and she's the headmistress of a boarding school.
Say so much less. Oh my goodness.
Adventure.
Okay.
So I think the Kickstarter's done already, but I don't know. I think the back kit is done already as well. So you're going to have to wait for it to actually hit retail before you can get it if you didn't back the Kickstarter.
I think I did back it.
But yeah, that's going to be, that's going to be coming out soon. God, what else? You can still pre-order Volume 2 of the Doctor Who TTRPG 60th anniversary. I got to write one of the adventures in that. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Just a quiet week for Drak, only casually,
Just a day in the life.
Just bossing out the universe as per usual.
Run circles around me. Like I wake up and I go back to bed going, I can't nearly accomplish as much as Drak has today. I'll just go back to sleep.
Dude, okay, Drak, Raven, and Sam will just throw out announcements every week, and I'm like, damn, what the hell am I doing with my life?
You should see what Ed's doing.
My achievements are
honestly, Ed's is because like a lot of things I'm doing, I'm either project lead, which I will say is a lot of work, or a player, which I feel like isn't as much work. Ed is like gemming 5 things. Like Ed has so many things prepared and going on. But Ed just lets other people announce it because at least one of us are always involved in it. So it sounds like we have a lot going on.
I'm very selfish when it comes to who I play with. If I'm brought on a project, I'm like, look, I have a couple of riders in my contract, and it is these 5 people in rotation, basically.
If I'm not a part of that, I will fight you.
Oh, no, you are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking of, you can catch both Sam and myself every Tuesday over on the Wounded Warrior Project Twitch channel, where we are barreling towards the mid-season point of our 2nd season of Eden Falls. It's a Tales from the Loop campaign, very Spielbergian, Stranger Things set in the 80s, lots of sci-fi elements. Is there time travel now thrown into the mix? Who knows? We will find out next week, but we left on a hell of a cliffhanger. Also, it's technically not been announced yet, but keep an eye on the RP Geeks Twitter page. There might be something coming up soon. And also... yeah, keep an eye on Drak. Drak basically has me on retainer. It's where I like to be. But they have me on retainer, and you will have seen some movement about our wonderful autumnal Beyond the Brook campaign. Just keep your eye out. There's a lot of wonderful stuff. And speaking of Drak, Drak is going to be at the MCM London Comic Con, as will I. We'll both be sharing a panel as we play as sexy battle wizards as part of the UK Rising TTRPG Stars in the UK panel. I'm very excited and intimidated, but I have Drak and so many other lovely people there to keep us company. Do come along, come say hi. It would be lovely to just talk TTRPGs with all of you and just hang out. I really want to see as many people there as possible because you're all amazing. But that is it from me, I believe.
Very beautifully said. Also in Eden Falls, Drak has an NPC.
Yeah.
I love it that they're getting into trouble because the NPC is based on a Tales from Elite campaign. I played it. That was literally my PC that I played in a Tales from Elite
that's
campaign.
so cool.
So seeing that
I hope I didn't get
was
killed.
fun.
Whoops. But also, a huge announcement from me that has not even been announced on social yet, but it will later. So you can have it now. I partnered up with Twitch and have been filming a show all year round. It's a show about helping people, creators, dress the clothes they already own to help lessen the fashion carbon footprint, as well as teaching them how to purchase things pre-loved without going overboard. So you get to come and dig into people's closets with me, and the first episode will be airing on my Twitch channel this Sunday at 7 p.m. PT. It's very late for this first one, but we're going to be knocking out 5 episodes all before TwitchCon, so keep an eye out. Do y'all want to know the name?
Yes.
That hasn't been announced either.
But are you going to announce it now?
My guess is Sam Threads. That's
Okay,
my
that's
guess.
cute though, but that's not it.
Closet Creepers.
Maybe season 2.
Was it Creepers? I think that's a different show.
We do love a
I
good
regret
Creepers too.
everything.
And we're out, ladies and gentlemen. I realize that's been there too. Okay.
No!
That's a wrap. Roll credits.
Yep. Yep.
Well, in my fantastic news of truly becoming an elder on the internet, I bought my first KitchenAid this week for the house, and I'm making bread pudding from the extra bread that was accidentally on the my nephew's grocery order. So I'm showing them how to make bread pudding this week.
Zucchini
So
bread.
Zucchini bread. Yeah, obviously.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have failed. Zucchini bread is not the first thing I'm making in the KitchenAid. But you know what? I can't wait to show them how to make bread pudding, and then not show the amount of rum that goes in bread pudding. So exciting
Sam,
times.
what's the title? We never got the title. Was that like a tease? You're not gonna tell us? I want to know what the title is.
I think you derailed that. There,
Yeah,
Drak.
yeah, that's.
I did.
Fine. Do y'all want the title?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was also patient. Yes. Yes, Miss Sam.
This is Sam.
So the show name is called From Desk to Door.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
love that.
Yeah.
Hair
what's the
flip.
trend coming up. Just wear the Hugh.
Anybody else with announcements?
No.
This is not really the craziest of things, but I guess tune into the content for the channel next week because Seasonal Story wraps up on the Destiny side of things. And oh my god, we will actually see what happens if Eris remains a hive god, or if she just does the ultimate power move and is able to walk away, or I don't know, like it's fun.
I love a power top.
that.
I'm
I mean, honestly, yeah, I think that there are. I need to ask the Drifter about that, but yeah, 100%.
Hey, Drifter here. Eris, you still up?
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's an exciting time. Definitely tune into content because it's going to get wild. Like capital W wild. There's a lot more movement in this than I think we've seen in a while. This season has had the story that is worthy of some expansions. So it's been really good. I wouldn't normally announce that, but there we are. I guess it's just like it.
And speaking of Destiny, folks, D&D on Thursdays picks up tomorrow with Baldur's Gate Rise of the Black Worm, as some familiar faces in the Destiny community, Robbie V, Dado, and Ruben Sargasm, and About Time Joey are all going on an adventure together. 10 parts. It's going to end on my birthday before the end of the year. So it's going to go all the way till December 28th. So we get a full 10 session campaign. Joey and Ruben have never played D&D before, so I am very excited to show them the ropes. And that'll be fun. They're all getting to play D&D with each other, So super cool for them. Glad they got the opportunity. Glad they reached out to me to go ahead and make it happen. And I'm excited for some low stakes because they want to play low stakes. I'm like, oh, yes, I love this. Let's play with all the criminal syndicates. So
low stakes, and you decided that you would name the campaign Rise of the Black Worm.
Yeah, the Zins, baby.
That doesn't sound stressful at all. Just, casually having a black dragon be the center of something, I gotta presume.
Just the Zintaram, man. Hey, just the Zintaram. That's the black worm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be fun. Excited. Join us tomorrow.
That's the black one.
6 p.m. CT, 7 p.m. ET, 4 p.m. No? Yes, 4 p.m. PT. Got it. Nailed it. Anybody else? So, let's pick up where we left off. What feels like 3 months ago now at this point, and we're all dying.
One of us is.
With the epic battle that has ensued on this giant floating recycle center in the sky. You all have dispensed of many constructs, protected Kelthud and the Warden's airship that got you here. We have folks in flight. We have arcane cannons going off, and we're all attempting to retreat, with everyone going a different way. Chrissy has laid out a rainbow bridge, a connection down 30 feet from the airship all the way to this monstrosity of a construct, this silent gear warden, an amalgamation of all the parts inside the recycling center, as well as some sort of sentience, as it's reached out to challenge Myshkin. In defiance, you have cursed its name. You have tried to slide in between the gap of its many mechanical legs. However, a nat 1 has caused you to be engulfed inside the machine. Looking back on your turn, I believe
I've used up all my actions.
Okay, you used up all your actions. I'm just looking back here to see things inside the roll log. I don't actually even see your nat 1. I know it's there though. I know it happened.
Oh, it's definitely there. It's burned in my memory. Yeah, because I cast Warp Step to try and
you cast
get
Warp
out of
Step.
there.
Yes, and that was the contest that we had.
Yeah. Which is two actions, but I did take an extra strike, so I technically have 2 actions left, but I'm happy to.
I don't think you rolled a nat 1. I think you literally got 1 beneath what you needed to because it was contesting.
Yeah,
That was it.
I think
yes.
I think that
You
was
just
it, yeah.
missed
I
by
think that
1.
was-
You just missed by
Yeah,
1.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks is a lifetime, y'all. 2 weeks is a lifetime. We're going
Yeah,
to.
I don't think it was a nat 1.
All right. We are going to pick up on your turn engulfed inside the machine.
Okay. What can I see? What does it look like in there, if anything?
This has all happened so fast. You actually have no vision right now. It is pressure. You can feel the cold metal press against your face. You can't even open your eyelids inside of this.
I'm gonna go ahead with my previous plan. As Myshkin is engulfed in metal and alloy, Myshkin is going to reach out with his mind and is going to cast Umbral Mind Theft. The way this works, I will cast it, and I want to do something a little bit different with it. So, usually you can steal a bit of knowledge, so like lore, like a lore skill from your opponent, and they lose it up until basically you have a long rest. I would like to reach out and, by attempting a steal action, I would like to try and steal the location of the Silent Gear's base, the Caliber.
Myshkin. Are you prepared for the consequences of interfacing with this machine, both magically or physically?
No. But I've come this far.
All right. I want you to cast your spell attack.
Okay. I'm clicking it. This is not dramatic. I'm clicking it. It's not doing anything. So I'm just going to plus 16.
You have it popped out?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Remember, we can't do that. That's where it messes up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll do this instead then. So it's a 26.
I will remind you if there was anything from the party hand that you would like to add to this.
Take whatever you need.
Do what you want to do, because no holds barred on this one.
We have it all. You could add up to a +3 to your roll. You could luck this roll and go for a new one if you want to. The choice is yours.
You can advantage and then add a +3 to that.
Yes. Where is advantage?
I will take care of that for you. You
Okay,
can just
I'd
go
like
in
to
and
do
do the
that.
roll.
I'd like to do that
believe
and add a +3 as well.
we have the +3,
Wait.
but I do not see an advantage.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I got one. I do.
this is
I'm gonna
good.
play mine, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
One last question. Both myself and Farouk are not in view of Myshkin, correct?
No, I went up to
Or-
Spiral. No, we are right
think
at the
you can
door.
see
No,
Myshkin.
we are right at the door.
Okay, so in that case, Wash Your Luck is available, just in case.
And I gave you my advantage as well, so go ahead and do that.
Okay. Do I add 3 to both the rolls or just 1?
I think it's both.
So you rolled a 26 the first time. That'll be a 29.
Okay.
This will be
so-
your advantage roll.
Okay, so 29.
Do you want to stick with 29?
Yes.
As you reach out with your magic to try to interface with this silent gear warden, its innate defenses and resistance to psychic magic immediately put a halt. It's like trying to use your fingertips or wiggle your toes and not being able to do it. It just doesn't manifest. It stops, and the pressure in the machine folds double onto you as it feels like you're being pressed into that bed of nails that you saw before, almost becoming one with this machine. Would you like to use a luck?
Yeah.
Say the
So I-
card, I'll reaction Wash Your Luck for you.
Just
Okay.
remember, you have to take this roll.
I'll do it.
Does that also have the +3 and whatnot on it, or is that
Yes, it does, because it's re-rolling one of those rolls.
cool?
I'm clicking on the card, but I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a while.
You're good.
Don't worry
You
about the
can
card.
gain a
You just
card.
take the roll, baby. We'll take care of the
Okay.
rest.
I've washed your luck. You got
Thank
this,
you.
bud.
Okay.
I'm so nervous.
What could go wrong?
Nothing. It's fine. This is fine.
Okay.
Okay, one
30.
better.
So 33?
Yeah, 33.
No,
it's a
just
30. He already
that
added a 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
30. 30 is the DC.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna
As
pee.
you begin to be pressed in by this machine, your magic fails you. Arcana stops. But you have a sense of already being transformed in this machine. And you begin to manifest. And where it starts to build machine into man, one hand forms. Solid mechanical out of the parts that you reach in and seem to interface in this as you are becoming one with that machine. Your second hand forms as you're trying to prevent this thing from replacing your own flesh with machine. You direct to the two parts that you don't have. As two hands form and you brace yourself and lock on as you feel like you're holding yourself almost in a roller coaster ride. You can feel the pins and needles beginning to try to remove the flesh in your body there, and it halts. Skill challenge. As time becomes entirely relative to you, your eyes are closed, but you can see everything inside the room. In an odd red-like scale, everything is displayed in front of you in 360 degrees. If you're going to try an interface and find a location of the silent gear, this is your 3 skill check challenge. Now,
Okay.
you have taken over the silent gear, so you will have its modifier to try to access the information. That modifier is a plus 30.
Okay.
Now, I will have to go to my DC table. The DC will be 46, 48, 50.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So you'll go down to the bottom right hand, you will select a D20 plus 30.
And plus 30. Okay.
Ooh.
And I'm assuming I can't add any cards or anything to this, or?
Yes, you can.
Oh, I can. Okay.
I'm just realizing one of your rolls has to be a nat 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck.
And that 20 will be whether you get it first or at the end. That is an automatic success.
Okay.
Now, each degree will reveal a piece of information.
Okay.
You have used the plus 3, so you can use a plus 2.
I'm tempted to save that.
I think that's a wise choice.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just gonna do a straight roll for this first one.
Looking for a 16 or higher on this first roll.
Maybe not.
That feels so high.
It's still
Yeah.
so high, but
Remember, you get a
gets worse
piece
and
of
worse.
information for each success as you interface.
Okay.
So maybe it might be smart to use it first.
Yeah.
Maybe get a guaranteed
Okay.
piece.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll use a inspiration D6, is that right?
D6 will give you a plus
D8.
1.
D8. Okay, so plus 2, so plus 32. Okay. So
14 or
pressing-
above.
Okay. So reaching out to whatever semblance of thing that is living within this creature, Myshkin pushes through. And nothing.
Oh, the 15 was right there.
Yeah.
Now is your chance to play your lucky card.
Okay. Yeah, may as well.
Do you want me to play it for you?
Wash luck. So
You already washed luck. Now it's all that is left is
Oh no, I did, but you can't you?
I generally only
Or
let
is
one.
Farouk
I
not
let
visible?
one person do a wash luck and then one card.
So if someone can play a luck card
Yeah.
for me, so
I gotcha.
Okay. Thank you. Pushing back as these pins are digging into his skull, Myshkin, closing his eyes, just continues to push against this thing.
47. One success. As you interface with the machine, it's like dropping down an elevator as fast as possible. Your mind drops back down into the floor of Stormforge. And it travels to a clock tower. And then you see inside this clock tower in the center of city proper, you find a laboratory. And simple scans show you the presence of both Silent Gear and Voshborg. And the last thing that you see inside of that clock tower is a mechanical beating heart. DC 48 if you push further.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm noting all this down and my hands are shaking, so okay. Yeah. Does anyone mind if I just burn through cards?
Do it.
Burn
That's
'em,
what they're
baby.
there for.
What's still left that I can use?
A D6.
Plus one.
And- Is that it?
That's it. That's it.
This is a
Okay,
17 or above roll, then.
So, 31. Nah.
You struggle to push for more information inside, and you can feel the warden's defenses kick back on. You can still see, but you are still trapped inside of this machine. The pins and needles press back on you, and you can feel this thing begin to go for the rest of your flesh. You need to make your escape. Since you've interfaced with the machine, You have an athletics of plus 33. I am going to roll their fortitude save. And that is going to be the DC to beat. $37.
Okay. And so what was the modifier?
Modifier is plus 33. So you got a good roll.
Okay.
Oh my god. Very scary.
Off those fives.
If I could reach through my screen right now and pat you on the back through this, I would. Good lord.
You all see Myshkin ripping himself out of the heart of this machine with 2 new mechanical hands. I need you to make a fortitude save on these actual mechanical hands ripping through this machine. You will roll the fortitude of the machine, which is a plus 28.
Okay.
That's
With a natural 20, you rip and rend this silent warden. Being interfaced with it, Myshkin, DTD.
As Myshkin tears himself out of the pins, and I'm imagining from your description, it's like one of those children's toys where you press your hand into all of the sort of spikes, and it is like coming out of that. And I will say, from your vantage point, Loluphia, you probably see that across his face there are numerous just bloody streaks through his fur. All the white down his neck is matted and bloodied, and you can see that there is a feral, wild look in his eyes as he's just bringing his hands out. And as these large mechanical hands are coming, you see that they are morphing into something more scaled and dragon-like, not unakin to his mage hands that you usually see him casting. And as they come out, there is a moment's silence as they both just into the creature, and you see them literally tearing it apart from the inside. And RoBear, you said there was something living inside there.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
One of the hands just tears out, and you see in its hand, just limp and very frail looking, just this pale, near lifeless body that just flaps around like a ragdoll before Myshkin just slams it down onto the metal cog beneath. And as he falls on the floor, this bisected creature just crashes behind him and falls to either side as Myshkin just lies panting on the ground. His mage hands disappear and his wrists just hold his body weight up as he just heaves on the ground.
You look at that scrap that's there as it's loosely thrown together, and you can just see it pull itself up just enough where you can see it's this humanoid body leaning up and looking towards you, Myshkin.
We're not done here yet.
Myshkin stands and just walks over to it, his robes burnt, tatters, his hands still back. And he just places a bare very matted paw on the creature's face and turns it to either side with his foot. And he bends down.
You're right. You're not done yet.
And Myshkin just lunges forward with his mouth and tears his face off.
As you tear away that machine, you can see the embossment of this beating mechanical heart through the scrap. And for some reason, your vision kicks into that red infrared scale again. And you can see that beating heart in a clock tower in the center of Stormforge. And you can reach out and crush this thing. Do you?
Yes.
As your Magitech claw reaches out and destroys that bit of scrap that's in front of you, all the parts drop. You can see in your mind's eye this mechanical heart crumple. The last thing that you see before you hear the clock tower bells ring. And then the arcane cannons drop down. And the propellers stop. And this thing begins to slowly canter to the side as it begins dropping in altitude.
Myshkin looks up towards both Loluphia and Kallisto, airborne as they are, and is just going to, sort of looking around, sees the shimmering rainbow bridge before him. And remembering Farouk's words that they should run, he does so. He runs towards the airship, up the bridge.
Robert, I have a question.
Yes.
Is this building floating above anything right now, or was floating above anything right now?
We're gonna make a roll.
Oh, okay. Do I need to roll this?
Nope, I'm gonna make the roll for position. Been hovering for some time. Kind of an ellipses around the outskirts. Five and a 6. We are hovering over some part of Stormforge. 1 through 4. There is clearance between us and the city. And it's somewhere between the Forgotten Lands forest and the mountain range. Here's that roll.
What?
That is a 6.
Oh boy.
This facility is heading with a straight path towards Stormforge.
I
will yell this out as I see feel this shift in the building we're on. I hear the propellers stop, the crunching of gears beneath us stop, and I'll look up to Loluphia first. We're falling, and I think we're right above or heading for Stormforge.
Would she feel it? Like, or not feel it, but because she's flying, if this thing is dropping and she's staying still, are they like going through the ceiling?
It's just beginning. It's the very beginning processes of it starting to lean and slowly drop.
Okay. All right. Yeah, cool, sweet. She would respond to you telepathically, because she's not screaming over all this probably loud air and engine sound and whatever else is going on. But really is attempting not to be angry when she says that. However, you would hear her come across with, how much fuel do you have?
I'll see what I can do, but I'll probably need some help, maybe, and I'll gesture to the ship.
Are you gonna try to find fuel?
No, if we can move this thing, the ship probably have a better chance than I can. We need to
How do
steer
you
this out
propose
of the
that?
way. Just keep ramming it to the side, away from Stormforge. It's the best we can do. People are going to die if this hits. We can
Follow
guide
your
it
lead.
forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think as that conversation's happening and Chrissy in this avatar form notices the turrets powering down and this quick change in silence from this building, will finally leave off of the ship and would bound towards the center. And what I would like to do in any way, shape, or form is essentially use whatever little bit I have of that shield to kind of engulf the bottom of this building, dispersing myself as needed. And I know what I'm doing is dangerous. I know that I am already calling upon Nixie to do more than she has so graciously offered. But it's the sacrifice I'm willing to make. I want to make this thing either stop or draw it into another existence, away from Stormforge. I want to buy time so they can get out onto this airship, but I really, I will do whatever it takes.
Okay. This will use up every ounce of energy that your avatar form has. You will have advantage on the roll. It will be your spell attack. You can add any cards that you may need to add on to this.
Okay.
The DC for pushing this building away from Stormforge with your energy will be a DC 38.
Okay. If that's the case, I am going to use... I'm going to use a D10 inspo.
This will be a +3 to your spell attack. You already have innate advantage from being here in your avatar form that got you this far.
It's not letting me play it. Hold on. I'm just trying to... There we go. Okay. So we are going to add a +3. Keep higher. All right. What was the DC?
DC is 38.
I need to get a nat 20.
Yeah.
Your spell attack is an 18.
Yeah, I need to get a nat 20. That's fine. I think I'm at the point where I'm stopping this thing no matter what, and what happens to me be damned.
Kaivar,
Yes.
we can't stay on this thing any longer. We gotta go. We gotta go now. Come on.
Kaivar will instinctively wrap his buggy legs around Farouk as though Farouk was offering to carry momentarily, and then realize that was absolutely not the case and will make his way for the Rainbow Bridge.
As we begin that run up, we can see Chrissy beginning to channel that energy.
Do I have a reaction back for Wash Your Luck?
You do not have Wash Your Luck, but you can attempt to influence. As Farouk is going to cast Guidance, you have your performance.
Inspire. Yeah, okay, alright. What's the DC on this bad boy?
25.
Okay. And I am going to see about rolling that with a +2 from the party hand, because you know what? This is worth it. Yeah. Not spent.
A nat 20 will be +3. A success will be a +1.
That's a plus. What was the thing you said for the roll? Was it 25?
Yes.
25.
Okay, so that's a +1.
Success +1. Chrissy, you have a +2 combined from Farouk and Kaivar.
Okay.
I don't know if this will help or if this is like a backup, because I think, quite frankly, I don't know or really understand what Chrysanthemum is doing. But Kallisto is going to be heading to the ship, and they plan on guiding this fall, trying to use the ship to guide it away from Stormforge.
Yours will be the second attempt. So we're going to do Chrissy's, and then we'll enact the physical depending on this roll.
Hold on. I'm trying to make sure that I am getting all of it. So I have in total +5, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just going to do +5. Keep higher. All right. I'm going in. 32.
That's is that? I feel like that's missing the +5, right?
It is missing the +5.
Yes, it
Still
is missing the
one
+5.
Still one short.
Yeah.
It's one. It's one less. So it's 37. I
There's a luck in the party hand if you want it.
You know what? Yeah, I'll use it.
That's it. It's one last roll.
I'll use it.
I got it for you.
I got it. I just did it.
Oh,
Unless we both
apologies.
did it, and now you gotta put one back.
You do you.
Okay.
I'll fix my mistake. My apologies.
No, you're okay. So we are doing +5 to this roll. Add.
Looking for an 18.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna do it now. I'm so nervous.
Nat 20!
Nat 20.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
Twice when we really needed it.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay, wait, what's the...
Oh, tell them stories.
So, and I get a critical thing, so I just get to whatever the maximum possible is. That's what I do. That's what I do. I'm not crying. Whatever it is, it's fine. I just saved people.
Not only are you able to envelop this entire floating factory with your energy, but it's not just a bump or an expunge. Chrissy, as you float towards this structure, you have total control over it. You can place this thing as gentle as a pillow on top of a freshly made bed. Scene is yours.
I think there's just not even a moment of hesitation as this avatar that was Chrissy dissipates and encompasses, stretches over this entity, this beast of a floating building, coating it in stars, pulling from galaxies in which we have not yet seen, as black holes come into view as they rotate around the entity in the center as if it were a sun. It looks like a storm cloud of the cosmos. And Chrissy gently tips it up to allow the best access for anybody still left in this entity to slide onto the airship before rotating like the celestial body he is. He gently brings it down. He brings it to the edge of Stormforge, into this clearing of city that has not yet been built. Like a cloud. And as he gently places it down without so much as a sound, there's a quick burst of light, almost like a flame that is extinguished before it beams all the way upward into the heavens in an instant, leaving behind a gentle sprinkle of stars that dissipate, landing along the ship, along the pathways of Stormforge, coating it, making it glisten in a way that no one has ever seen. And he's gone.
with everyone secure on the Warden's airship, Kyvar, I don't know about yourself, but I'm up by the bow and I'm not even on my feet anymore. I'm just laying there. He did it! He did it!
I think there's about 20 seconds or so of silent admiration from Kyvar as he sort of knows how his friend has done this in the vaguest of senses, and that it's just some wild magic. At which point, he sort of remembers that this is a moment that he will want to catalog. And so as some of those stars start to gently drift down towards the earth, and as the building starts to take on a more mundane shape, he opens his book and starts to try and grab one of those specks of light in an empty set of pages. As one sort of floats down, much like Chrissy's old page, it fills with that brilliant vibrance as the story of his action starts to take place. You can see an avatar at the center, clearly made with 3 faces, said very much in Chrissy's images. And the book sort of gently shuts itself, shudders a little bit at the sheer power of what's just happened, and then rests.
The rest of you,
Where's Kilfed?
he's behind the wheel of the airship.
Okay.
Probably pooped his pants by this point, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as they finally got on the ship, Lolly would first come back to touch ground, and then she would just walk over to Kilfed and give him a big ol' smack on the back. But he knows it's because she appreciates him. Thanks for not dying. Appreciate it. Actually, kind of great. I'll tell the wardens about this.
Just absolutely covered in sweat from the moment. Not bad
He looked very
yourself.
dazed. Well, proud of you. And thank you.
Thank you.
Kilfed, go sit down. And she's grabbing his shoulder and kind of like turning him around, pushing him toward a place to sit. We'll take it from here.
I don't even know what I just seen.
We can talk about it later.
I always said that kind of stuff isn't possible. And then you watch it with your own eyes.
You need to get down in the Forgotten Lands more. It's possible.
I think so. Thank you. He's just gonna sit in a stool that's about 10 feet away from the helm. His hands are still, they're completely cramped. He's had
Oh no.
white knuckled on this wheel for so long since it's been over there. He's just, he's safe. He's just in a little bit of uncomfortable shock that's waning by the minute as reality and the comfort of the actual situation begins to set in.
I don't really have anything for this, but with her healing abilities that she does have, is there a way for her to consensually, like, offer to sedate him so he can just rest?
Not necessarily sedate, but you can absolutely calm his nerves with auto success based off of, you don't need to roll a medicine check. You can
Okay.
his muscles can untense, and his hands aren't gripped like that.
Yeah, I have a fee for this.
Thank you. Thank you, Loluphia.
Yeah. Once we're back to safety, you'll be all right.
No doubt. I'm already in good hands.
Yeah. We all are.
Myshkin is towards the rear of the airship. And he is bedraggled, and without his heavy red cloak, anyone who would see him would see just how malnourished and skeletal he is. His fur is dry and spiky, his tail thin and sinewy, and you can see his ribcage as he pants. And there are scratches, fresh scratches from his encounter just across the entirety of the left side of his face, and one of his green eyes is completely bloodshot. And with these eyes, he looks to the stars. He sees a new color in their light, and just nods and whispers,
Thank you.
and just all but collapses on the wooden railing at its back.
I would say when you say that, or just as you say that, there's a larger particle that kind of just lands on your nose. Knowingly.
Kallisto is sat, I think, near the head of the ship. And initially they had their eyes on Loluphia, and seeing them moving around just fine, the gaze lands on Myshkin. And I think even then it drifts away as he wrings his hands and looks down at the ground, just silent. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't make any further eye contact with anyone. He just closes in on himself as they sail through the air.
You said you're near the helm?
Yes.
Okay. That's where I am too. I think after reassuring Kilthad and taking care of him, looking around and seeing everyone's out of sorts in a way. We look frazzled. We look like we've been through it. Lolly, who would have, on her way back into the ship, grabbed her cloak and had it draped over her arm, would then clock Kallisto just standing there, hunched, very much in his thoughts, and she wanting to approach, but it being so public, she's just unsure, that she just takes a moment and once she turns away from Kilthud and sees just how long Kallisto's been not interacting with people, she knows that he's not doing well, at least mentally. And her necklace would light up that you can see brighter than usual because it is so apparently out and from underneath her cloak that it's always hiding under. And as it lights up, Kallisto, you can hear her. Can I approach?
The not starts, but kind of make a motion as if he's about to look over his shoulder, but he doesn't. He continues to look, I think, out at the view down below, and then says, "You always can."
Her necklace darkens. And she does. She's not very far from you, but at the same time, she tried her best to keep that proper distance until it felt okay. And as she approaches, she kind of walks just in front of you, and you probably, if you're still looking down, would see that billow of the cloak that she's holding drag on the ground a bit. Well, definitely much more dirty than it was prior to this event. And you just hear her ask out loud, "You want to help me put it on?" Looking down at you.
He quietly nods and will help you put it on. I think you notice he is trying extra hard to make sure his left hand doesn't touch you. Because I think you see partway through the entire fight, then pretty much the entirety of his shirt had caught fire, and at this point, whatever's left barely counts as clothing at this point, and you see that you can't even really call it a scar anymore. The molten rock that makes up his arm has spread further. His entire arm at this point has long been taken over by this thing, but you see it used to only take up patches of his abdomen, maybe just part of the left side of his chest, but now it's spread over and probably has engulfed the entirety of his upper left side. And he, with his left arm hugging his side, he uses his right to put the cloak back over you.
And as you tried to clasp the cloak, she would reach up and help you where she can. So obviously you wouldn't be touching that with your left. But she then turns around and just takes a minute to adjust and shift things, and finally you can see that she's fully covered the way that she usually is, including those wings that are now tucked tightly underneath. And looking back at you, she is looking you up and down and not touching. Does it hurt?
Give it a few hours, it probably will. I'm still feeling the adrenaline, I think.
Well, I know a lot has gone on since our conversation earlier. However, my thought still stands about trying to find the truth.
He nods. And then he doesn't try to make it subtle. He looks over at Myshkin and then back at you, Loluphia. What happened? How did you end up there?
Not in any way that would really make sense to what Loluphia would do. But I saw the cat earlier in the day. He asked for some assistance, just to be eyes for something, and we decided to meet at the library. Obviously, that's not at all what happened. Well, except to get to the library part, and then, you know, everything that went from there. But, yeah. I just hope he's okay. He looks like he's been through some stuff, like a machine.
Are you okay?
Yeah, Just little scrapes. More so worried about y'all. She's looking around at everybody. What do Kaivar and Farouk look like right now? Like, what is she saying when she's looking around?
Kaivar. You're pretty frazzled from the arcane can.
Yeah, it's probably an antenna twisted into the other antenna, you know, from the ride with the eagles. Very much looks a little bit exhausted, but still like a student studying at 11 p.m. on the night before an exam, is sort of hurriedly flipping through the pages of the book, constantly looking around at everyone who's still on deck on the ship, looking over at Kallisto and Loluphia, looking up at the stars, and just like, it's on a furious search for something. Like there's a page in the book that he knows is there, just trying to figure out where it is. Not speaking to anybody.
Juxtaposed to his frantic note-taking, a very, very calm, unfrazzled Farouk is got his arms wrapped around the edge of the bow, and he's just looking up at the stars and Parik flying along with the airship with just the biggest, proudest grin on his face.
What is he looking at? Just up at the stars? That's what you said?
Yeah, looking up at the stars for Chrissy.
And then she looks back at Kallisto after seeing that and smiling a little bit, but well, aside from the one that sacrificed themselves, and I'm sure we'll see again very soon, so no need for mourning, just thinking. And she looks up, and you can tell she's thanking you.
As that happens, there's a little twinkle, almost like a wink, in the sky.
Flex that 20, yo.
I'm just saying.
Flex it. Love it.
I take offense to that. Don't wink at me.
How dare you, sky? How dare you, stars? What the hell, man?
You're being cheeky now, Chrissy.
That would definitely get a couple of tears out of Farouk for sure. Happy tears, though.
Lolly's like the old man on a yard. Why yard?
It's literally old. Well, I guess old woman in this instance yells at clouds.
Except it's Lolly yell at air, basically.
You know what the barometric pressure does to my knees?
I swear to God, if I have to hear about Mercury being in retrograde one more time.
I prefer mine in Gatorade.
Oh my God.
Anyway. But she Lolly looks past you and then also at Myshkin, who's passed out.
Not passed out, just not standing.
Doesn't feel very good or look very good.
No.
I know we just spent a lot of lovely time with him, but do you mind if I try to go help? And I mean that
Go
question.
ahead.
Are you telling the truth?
I think you know that no matter what, he's going to want you to help, like anyone you can. So he is fine with it, but I don't think he hides the fact that he doesn't seem to very much like Myshkin. He doesn't hide the fact he doesn't like Myshkin, but he also doesn't want people he hates to die or be in bad shape.
He's such
if
a
it can
good
be
guy.
avoided.
Oh, babe.
So he means it,
Aw.
but again, he doesn't hide the fact that he's not feeling so great about Myshkin and his involvement in all of this.
Would you like to go over with me?
No.
Okay. Well, don't keep to yourself for too long. It's not good to be in your head. You know that.
I'll be fine.
I don't believe you, and she just pats your not lava shoulder as she walks past you and heads toward Myshkin. And you can probably very, very lightly feel her steps because you are on the ground. So
Yeah.
it means a little bit more sensitive to you too.
So, Myshkin,
Yeah.
about your Magitech hands. These hands can form and completely retract in to small metal plates that fit right along the wraps that you have. And they fold in and out much like the manifestation of those nails when they form forward into the hands and they can form out. You have complete control of whether they are there or whether they are not. But they are part of you now.
Oh man, Myshkin doesn't like that.
You are part machine.
I have a question. Just a really important
It
question.
used to be my skin, now it's my sheen.
Are these Magitech hands?
Suddenly, Myshkin gets up and walks away. Lolly approaches.
Are these Magitech hands backwards or forwards? That's my question.
They would have been forwards. They're in the image of man.
Okay.
Welcome to the club, Ed.
I have a question, RoBear. Do these supersede my mage hand?
Supersede? No.
So they don't. Okay, good.
No, not at all. That's why they fully retract. They are a part of you, but it is your choice when to manifest them and when you want them there and when you don't want them there.
Okay, thank you.
But then there's also this itch. What is your dominant eye, Myshkin?
It would be my right one.
Your right
but my-
eye. One small pinprick. One little pixel. The one needle that got there before you stopped the silent gear. It's what allows you to see inside the machines. Your eye is still biological, except for one small, tiny red pixel. That is now machine.
Myshkin, as you approach Loluphia, is looking at these. For lack of a better image, it almost looks like porcupine fronds, just sort of like wrapped around his wrists. And he's looking at them, and as you approach, he just sort of puts them down again and...
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
No,
But also thank you. And she looks down at your hands. How do you like them?
For a moment, I was scared that...
And the pendants around his neck glow, and the green scaled four-fingered hands appear around his wrists again, and
I was scared I'd lost them again.
and they disappear once more as the pendants deaden.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't. What to me, RoBear, does Myshkin's eye look like with the little prick? Is it something that we notice?
It's a hard perception check to notice.
I can try. Might as well. And if it doesn't happen, oh well.
Yeah, I would say it's a solid DC 30 to see that small little pixel.
So I need 18 plus. Let's see. Roll. Okay. I don't see it. Not close enough yet.
Not today.
Next.
So, how angry is your husband?
I love that that's the thing you're worried about. As she gets down to your level, and you're more than welcome to fight this, but she just starts healing your wounds. So her hands are, she's not touching you, but there's warmth coming from her hands and air and pressure. And it feels nice in one area until she moves on if you allow her. For what she can see.
He is staring not at your hands throughout, but at just you. As you move across his various wounds, he is just watching your face and
What? You have to speak up, as she says, and she's like kind of putting pressure now on a wound on your back as it's taking a little bit longer. You're worse than Kallisto with this mumbling.
You remind me of my mother.
She stops. And she's behind you now, so you can't see her expression, but you could probably feel that burn. But it's not negative, it's just like, I'm listening. I hope that's a good thing.
She would often heal my scrapes.
Is there a little bit more than scrapes, Myshkin? She continues now.
I'm a little bit older.
Which means you take longer to heal. It's what happens when we get older, old man. Just get used to it.
I am not in the habit of staying with people. Nor others staying with me, but I would like to thank you for not trusting me.
It's in my nature. She's come around to at this point and is finally finishing up down the right arm. She looks at you, and whenever you want to leave, no, I won't stop you, but you'll be missed. I think now I can slowly give you a bit more trust back. We're not there yet, though.
Of course not. Still playing our game of cat and mouse.
I'm glad you said it, because I was about to. You're catching on, Myshkin. Very proud.
I know your husband will likely not want to speak with me for some time.
Yeah. It would seem so. And she, finished now, stands back up from your level and looks behind her.
As you
and then back at
do,
you.
you feel just the chill of Myshkin's wrist against yours. And he just looks up at you.
Tell him that when he is ready. I have information on the Vashborg. And if he still wishes, I will help him find the truth.
I think, just for
What?
bad timing, you see almost like a shooting star that is aimed directly at the airship.
It's a meteor.
Kelthud faints.
Chrissy, right? Chrissy
Natural
is
20!
essentially like just falling towards y'all.
Is this terrifying? Or is this like a little star that we can assume is our little
it's not
our little
not
fireball
like this
spitting out?
big massive like fireball, but it's enough of a bright light for people to notice. I would think.
Do we have
Right?
any way of
Maybe.
knowing that this is Chrissy, or do we think it's just a rock falling from the sky about to hit
I
our ship?
mean, that would be entirely up to y'all. But
Yeah, it is a graceful, very clearly positive projection that's headed towards the airship. It is not.
Like a little dancing shooting star.
Yeah.
It's got like a little hop.
not
to it, kind of.
quite. He is unconscious. Like I am falling. I'd like to think that after like ascending, after using all of this power, his vacation time with his gals Kikian and all that got cut short. And Nixie was just like, it's time. I'm tired. You're tired. We like go home. Like my door's always open. Like I love you. You are my child, but go. Like I need to be an empty nester for at least 3 millennia, that kind of thing. So yeah, it is a graceful fall, but it is a fall nonetheless. And it is not as graceful as it could be.
It's
gonna
slow
collide with the-
enough for.
Yeah.
And Farouk's been watching the sky the entire time.
Would it be enough for Ivar to sort of rush to the spot and try and catch Chrissy as he falls?
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind with us too. Just kind of motion to you,
Yeah.
and we don't have to rush at all. It's. We just kind of gently walk over to the spot, and I take the strong hands.
Kallisto catches Chrissy with lava hand. Oops.
Ah. That's what they call a hot drop, I guess.
Chrissy is very unconscious, like breathing but barely. His hair is completely white. And the sheen in his dragonfly-shaped wings, where it once was a myriad of golds and blues and greens, is now cooler. They're more blues, darker blues, purples. He is not in great shape.
Ivar, let's set Chrissy down somewhere a little bit more comfortable.
Yes.
And there's
Chrysanthemum
some
Insight.
extra inflatable. Sorry, my friend. Some
I'm so
extra
sorry.
inflatable that's there on the actual forefront of this airship. We just kind of lay you down there, kind of sinks in like an air mattress. Go ahead, Kaivar.
Chrissy, inside your head, you just very briefly hear,
That was brave, yes. This one, Kaivar, is
searches through, tries to understand, looks for just the right word. Doesn't find it.
well done, Chrissy. Yes?
There's a very faint presence of acknowledgement, but there are no words. It's kind of like Tinkerbell losing her light a little bit. He, and Farouk would know this, in all of his lives has never performed anything this massive. So he is just wiped.
Farouk calls over Parik from the sky. He kind of lands down and Fledgley kind of extends his wing out and kind of curls up underneath your head, so you kind of have a pillow and a backing there. But through his familiar, he begins just to send a slow amount of residual healing that just emanates through Parik. You'll be right as rain soon. Don't overdo it. I think he's done about enough today.
You see the small frame start to relax, truly relax, as he barely reaches out before resting his hand on this surface that he finds holding him, comforting him. And he just kind of falls asleep. His breathing is definitely better. Like there's more life there, but he is conked out.
With everyone on the airship in different states, I'm going to ask you guys where you're headed to next on this airship after you guys refill your beverages and take a quick break.
Ivar did not remember the word proud.
Oh.
I really thought you were going to... I thought you were going to... Chrissy, you are cat.
It would have also very much fit the narrative.
Yeah, proud.
Yep.
And everybody understood.
I mean, look, listen, the whole world is just a series of cats to Kaivar at this point. He's just trying to figure out what kind of cat's what kind of cat.
Well,
That's
I didn't
fair.
have that escape on my bingo card, but I love it.
I do too. I like having Chrissy because I can just make him do weird things that work. With a nat frickin' 20. God.
So good. I'm going to go
Letting
refill
the
my
dice tell
water.
the story. Yeah, I'm gonna go check Patty. I'll be right back.
Bye. Ugh. I really want Kallisto to like me, but
We're all just trying to get Senpai to notice us.
yeah.
man.
Touch Lolly's wrist to hopefully get him angry at me so he'll talk to me. Just talk.
The best I've done is be bad at charades, and I hate that.
Comes from such a relatable place as well.
True. Very good session so far.
Yeah. Those not quite back to back, but very close 20s. My goodness.
Oh,
Well, they
God,
were
I
both
know.
like, these need to happen or it is bad 20s as well, which is the best part. I love when dice tell a story, even when they're ones.
Yeah.
Even when they're ones.
Look, we got some of the best stuff ever on the back of some nat ones.
I don't know if I would still consider top dying the best, but
That's not. You know, I was thinking more about like me getting my metal arm, or you know, like other things. You know, where it's like tomfoolery. But yeah, no, that sucked.
I honestly like. Is it on the subject of lost limbs? I was so genuinely concerned that.
I could tell. I was like, that's not Ed acting. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, I was real like.
That's a core character piece for you, and you just revealed that they were your mother's hands.
Yeah. Yeah, but also I was like, the idea of the silent gear just replacing? Oh my goodness. Like,
It's
I
a
was so
brilliant
ready
piece,
for it.
right?
Yeah, I was so ready for it narratively, but I was also like, please don't take my parents away from me.
It's probably the most graceful instance of somebody getting one of their replacement limbs. You know, it's up against accidental underdark emergency surgery, and the one time poor Mud got his leg replaced by the aforementioned poop knife back in the last Baldur's Gate campaign that RoBear did. So you know, like, it's bad, but it could be much worse. You know, you're doing okay. All things considered, it's just gonna work out fine.
Yeah, you have an eye freckle and new hands. I don't have that second part, but you know.
It's now canon that whenever they come out, they make the Transformers sound 100%.
Yeah, immediately as you said they can retract, I was like, oh, Wolverine hands? Not just claws? Come on. You got like 3 pairs of hands now. You're greedy.
Yeah. Does this mean I can
And Kallisto's
cast...
about to lose one. Can you give one of your...
Yeah, I can cast double the amount of semantic spells. I can just be like...
Yeah, can you General Grievous that shit? Can you like...
I mean, he
get
put his hands on Lolly
and your
at one
metal
point.
hands?
Yeah.
Right?
So, I don't know. Also, I thought instead of you saying semantics, I thought you were about to say Samantha, and I was like, why would you call me that? Nobody calls me that unless I'm in trouble.
Samantha.
No, it was always Samantha Lynn. And I'm like, no, wait, I'm sorry.
What I do?
I'll never do it again.
You see, like, I gave my kids middle names that I can't, like, do that with. And it's awful, right? They need to understand what that means, right?
I do it to Leif all the time. You just know you're in trouble when it's the first and middle name. It's just Leif Alistair. And he's like, yes, ma'am.
If I do that to my daughter, she laughs at me. I go, Odessa Valkyrie. She goes,
You've given me 2 of the strongest names in mythology.
yeah,
You
right?
have nothing on me, mother.
Literally that, okay? And I'm like, well, F my drag.
Immortal.
Like, my son, I don't have to do that with. All I do is Carter, and he goes, oh.
See,
It's
this
the
is the
full
real
name
secret.
that comes out.
When the DM has truly put you in a situation where you are screwed or it's about to be the worst of dice rolls, this is the point at which we all go, Robert, just with the great degree of
Robert.
disapproval.
I can't ever call him Robert because it's Eric's middle name. And I use that whenever I'm angry wife, which is very rare, but still.
Yeah.
It's reserved for special occasion. And
Yeah,
very
they always are
specific
special
use case.
occasions. I never see them coming. They're surprises.
I have a Mind's Eye card. I don't know what to do with it.
You
So-
play it when you want like a very
It's like a flashback.
yeah, it's a moment for you uninterrupted to share a piece of your backstory. Something could have triggered it that we have been through or are going through, and suddenly that brings you back to a specific memory. It's really a card that I always keep in the back pocket of like there's gonna be that perfect moment.
Yeah.
I think I only used 2 in the 2 years of Meteorian Core.
Yeah.
Because like when they work, they work. Like
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's what it is.
I'm always really greedy with my Mind's Eye cards. I'm so happy
You
to
should
have
be.
one because it's like
That's your everyone agrees greedy card.
right. Like you can take a moment where it has deep significance that you want to expand on, but you would never be able to fit it inside a conversation because your character would never do that. And you can Mind's Eye to explain the context or to give more weight to the story in the moment. You know?
Yeah, like you know when characters die and you're like, oh man, nobody got to find out about this cool thing. And it's like, well, you can tell us anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just in Mind's Eye.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
it's that great Mind's Eye when we were lost in the Fae between you and Becca. And it was kind of like
That was one of my most favorite roleplay moments in D&D ever. That yeah, we like sat on a call a week before and we're just like, what are we gonna do? Because we just really needed to close Toph's book, even though it had been months, but it was just never closed. And I am so grateful to her for putting our heads together. Love her. She's also in Eden Falls.
Hey yo.
Back.
Still need
Plays
to
the
finish
cutest
up.
character.
I need to
She's so
finish
good.
up
Ed's
season 1
DMing
so
her
I
the
can get
first
to
time.
season 2. I hope
Hurry
you're
up.
enjoying. Yeah, right. I hope you're enjoying, by the way, the unique brand of caustic chaos that exists. Because legitimately, she is one of the best RPers, but also one of the coolest players as far as just inventive shit she does that I've seen at any table. Like, yeah, I don't know. I could pull out like 5 or 6
I think
different
you're muted, Ed.
examples.
Or you're just not talking loud enough.
Yeah, I can see you're
I
saying.
can see your mouth moving. Yeah.
Machine got his tongue.
Move your mouth so we can hear. Nope. What the heck? We have to know about the Voshborg. Come on.
I have taken that cat's tongue.
Yeah, Cat got your tongue. He's got his own tongue. Well, he took your tongue after she was done.
Can you hear me now?
There we
Mhm.
go.
Welcome back.
I don't know. I was in the call and then I left the call and then I came back and it was working for some reason. Who even knows?
We love that. But yeah, caustic chaos.
Yeah, I was saying, like, to give you an idea of the kind of chaos that Becca has brought to the Eden Falls table, in not our last episode, but the one before, her solution to a dinosaur appearing in 1983 was to drive a car into it and crush it. So
100%. Yep.
it was
Somebody else's car, too.
Yeah,
But it was Darla's, like, worst enemy, so Darla's like, hell yeah, do it.
2 birds with 1 stone. Hell yeah.
yeah.
Back on the airship.
I think we're still waiting on Drak.
So yeah, I don't know. I can only see the stream view, so I don't know when he's there or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have his,
I
like, video
realized-
up on the side so I can see it. It's black screen.
I never took a moment to go and take a bathroom break, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Yes, do that.
Also, Drak, if you're back, let us know.
If there's a presence out there, please.
Listen, I would help you, but I'm tired. I'm sleeping, so don't ask me.
Is their
Guess he
name
needs a big
Earl,
old nap.
Steve? It's Jeff. I think it's a past uncle.
You know what's funny is like we were supposed to have 6 weeks of time between all of this, and we only had 2.
Sometimes it's how the dice roll.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. When stories want a story. They just happen.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like, what a, like, seeing Chrissy literally move cosmos.
So cool.
So
Myshkin
cool.
rip out of the
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah, that was intense. Like, you know what I really loved about having those scenes essentially back to back is like it is literally the dichotomy of Stormforge, right? It is literally machine versus magic, and oh my god, it was just chef's
Yeah,
kiss.
Myshkin's just the new
So
leader
good.
of Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
Works out.
yeah.
Yeah, you've heard
That
of
was-
metal heads, but have you heard of metal hands?
Hey.
For a moment, I was the ghost hands in the machine.
You were.
In a shell,
Oh.
even. There we go.
Ghosts in the shell.
Ghosts in
To
the
Rage
shell.
Against the Machine. Wow, it's a whole story.
Yes. Also, this
character arc.
animation of the airship is beautiful.
Right?
So
It's
calming.
good.
Not
Yes.
enough vomit on the side from Killthud. Come on.
Just every so
Realism.
often from one of the portholes, just.
This is James RPG art, and they do wonderful animated splash art. They have a fantastic Patreon that's out there, which I will link now.
Drak's back. Now we're just waiting on Bife.
Yes, no, hi, I'm back. Sorry.
It's all good. We almost started without you.
Oh, okay.
Well, because RoBear can't see you.
Yeah.
Because he's looking at the main screen. I was like, wait, Drak's not back. And then Bife left. He jumped ship. That joke was way funnier than anybody not laughing.
Sorry, I'm making notes. What did you say?
About Bife jumping ship.
Oh, okay. Ha ha ha!
Thank you so much. I
don't get
appreciate it.
pity laughs.
That's okay. I still take them.
I'm all out of my man's laughter.
Good. Honestly, could give you 25 years.
It'll be 15 to 20 seconds before I get it back again.
Oof. Scared of man's laughter. I'm still so surprised. I've never read it that way. How?
Oh, I've definitely
I've-
caught myself before.
I've never read it that way, but I've had it pointed out that it could be read that way many times before. But I think that Instagram video was very funny with him like cry laughing. He's like 15 to 20 laughing.
Oh no.
It gave me the same energy as I think it's the second season of Dimension 20, and whenever I need a pick me up, I always watch this clip. But it's the Chungle Down Bim bit where it's just like, no, he's gonna shit in my mouth.
Good. Everyone's back. Stop that illegal stuff.
I'm back with all of these talented, beautiful people.
Yeah, you are.
Birds of a feather.
Picking back up
Flock together.
I'm not a bird, I'm an insect.
on the airship. First, what's your heading? Loluphia, I believe that you are on the helm. You
I
can
know, I was
go.
over by Myshkin. Kallisto was over by the helm with
Well,
Killthud probably
you
best
took
on that.
Kelthud off the helm, so someone's got to be on the helm.
I mean, it's a big airship. There's got to be
Yeah, I put on
someone else.
autopilot.
No wonder we're leaning
Ivar's
back and
on the
forth so
helm.
much. Ivar!
I'll be on the helm.
That is exactly where Angry Dad would be, is on the
We get there when we get there.
Anytime Myshkin stands up, suddenly you go and make him fall.
one hand,
I
can't
don't know
use
what's
the lava
happening.
hand on the helm.
He's got another hand.
Yeah, he's just kind of
exactly.
like leaning back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I will pull this
These
airship
damn
over.
kids. These damn kids.
Yeah, so it is your choice. You have just a refresher of destinations inside your own head. you have the landing of the floating recycling center that's down in the Forgotten Lands. There's obviously information that is inside Myshkin's head that he is ready to share. You have free reign to go anywhere in Stormforge right now inside of this airship. So be my guest. The scene is y'all's.
Was the...
When I did walk away to Myshkin, Drak, by the way, she would have told Kallisto to watch the helm.
Yeah.
Was the recycling plant not placed down in an unbuilt
Yes.
part of Stormforge?
Yeah,
rather
in
than
a- If I can, I don't know. I took creative liberty because I got a nat 20. But I said it was in like an undeveloped or yet developed section of Stormforge where like they're kind of building on, but haven't really done so yet.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
There'd be scrap yards and places, and hell, it'd probably fit right in where you put it.
Yeah.
Unless anyone communicated to me otherwise, I would be landing the ship back where we Kilted got it. So it seemed like there's a warden's like landing point where we take ships in and out from. So I'd be heading in that direction.
Got it.
I mean, if Myshkin wants to go somewhere, you can tell Lolly and I can communicate that. But that's up to you, RP-wise.
I think Myshkin is looking in the direction of Stormforge, and I would say, Lolly, that you see him looking in the direction of where Chrissy placed the recycling plant oh so gently, but I think Myshkin has pushed his luck enough for one day.
Let me see if I actually notice this. So, guy, at least be 20. Nope. I don't know what you're looking at. Birds aren't real.
The sky is purple.
No, it really is right now. Thanks, Chrissy.
And you see, Kaivar, there's actually some people that believe this world is flat.
What do you mean it is?
No, Lolly, no!
Brooke strokes out.
Damn. I need to talk about maybe a divorce, huh?
I married a flat
no,
earther.
Change.
There's a curvature of 6,000 feet that's supposed to be there.
After the marriage went so flat, you just couldn't turn it around, you know?
Oh.
This is a hard right to not Kyber off.
I'll do an athletics.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I don't see what you're looking at
No.
with my perception. My apologies. However, after seeing this light of Chrissy, and then seeing that Chrissy was going to be handled properly and taken care of, she would look back at you and just, do you want to talk about this now? I can tell Kallisto. We can tell the group.
When I was in that creature, and it was infiltrating my flesh, I managed to reach back, and I saw near the center of Stormforge a clock tower. Inside, a laboratory, and within even that, members of the Silent Gear and the Voshborg. I wasn't able to get much more than that. Other than a mechanical beating heart. I do not know where this clock tower is, but having witnessed the power of both the Voshborg, and now the extent of the Silent Gear's presence within Stormforge, we would be unwise to tackle this. as I have been doing so up until now. Alone.
Okay, so you don't want to tell everybody else at the same time. Awesome. This is great information, Myshkin. What is your idea then?
I do not know Stormforge as well as you, or your husband, or indeed.
And Myshkin is looking at Farouk, and there is a hint of regret in his eye.
Or, our guide. Over there. Perhaps you might be able to find out where this place is, but... I also made your husband a promise some time ago. Admittedly, my reasons were selfish, but I would like to help him with his arm for the kindness that all of you have shown me tonight.
She very much tenses as this, and her face, or her facial expression, which has been pretty light towards you, hardens. What do you think you can do? That we haven't already tried? And why haven't you said anything sooner if you could do this?
I've simply heard of a place called the Trove. I believe it may yield some answers, but as I say, I do not know Stormforge as well as you.
Okay. She softens a little bit after that, knowing that it's the same thought that she had.
Myshkin sort of looks you up and down and...
I told you once. I would not tell a lie.
I still believe that. Well...
Then...
What?
I just wanted to say... And no, I mean it when I say... I will always look out for the safety of you and your loved ones.
I thank you, but also why? You don't owe any allegiance to me or my family.
What you have is precious. Permit me this one eccentricity, please.
She looks down and just kind of looks back at Kallisto, watching him on the helm, and then back at you. Fine. Thank you. And I'll leave it at that. But the next time I'm asking a million questions, and you can't deny them, okay?
You have earned that.
That's
right.
my deal. I appreciate it.
Myshkin, the right pendant around his neck, glows green.
Which one is that?
It is the sun, the golden one. And a right hand extends in front of you, as though to shake.
What hand is this?
His right
You
hand.
have options.
No, it is very much the green scaled hand.
Okay. She would 100% hesitate. You would have noticed over time, she's not very affectionate to people, not even in contact of a handshake.
Neither
And
is
so
Myshkin.
she kind of pulls her hands that she'd already probably been like holding herself, like her fingers just laced and at her stomach. And she like grips her hands because she's fighting her will to do this. And finally you see her lower her left hand and extend out her right to grab yours and to shake.
Myshkin nods and immediately steps back to give you your space and heads back to the rear of the ship.
Okay. And you see her pendant light up immediately, and you can probably assume that she is talking to Kallisto about what you just told her. Which you hear, Kallisto, across the ship! You just hear it come in about, well, I know you didn't want to come over here, but I've got some great news. And by great news, I mean, I don't know if you want to hear this. However, Myshkin inside of the machine learned that the Voshborg and the Silent Gear are working together. As she turns around and you see her face and her eyes lock with yours, she just kind of lightly shrugs, facial expression unchanged, and just walks towards you, passing everybody on the ship.
He doesn't reply at first, but you do see the moment he hears this, just a really tired sigh come from him. He almost deflates a little bit as he's sailing this ship. But then a reply does come, and it's, what are the Voshborg doing with something like the Silent Gear there? At best, a myth, at worst, underground, mob, criminal organization. Why the Voshborg is official? Why would they work together?
And as she approaches, you hear her voice out loud, close to you. That is an age-old question, my love. That we can work together to figure out. Or we can leave it at this. You know, the chaos in the sky is what we can call it. But he also mentioned the trove. Surprisingly.
Yes.
You don't seem surprised about that. She's gauging you if you're going to tell her that Myshkin already told this to you. And she knows the truth of.
I can't remember, because Kallisto was the first one to actually suggest a trove to you. So I can't remember if I told you
yes.
that Myshkin.
You didn't tell me it was Myshkin.
I didn't? Okay, cool.
No.
Yeah, he just sighs and says, yeah, no. It had to be maybe 2 weeks now, 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
While I was coming back from the doctor. I'm fairly certain he was tailing me, but he caught up with me and we ended up talking for a bit.
Oh, so he has a good habit of that. That's what he did to me too. Market? That's where he found me.
Yes, I was going by the market.
We gotta keep our eyes peeled out there then.
Yes, he suggested that we speak to or find or make contact with the trove. And it seemed like it was an idea. And it was more than I had at the time, so when I spoke to you about the trove, that was coming off of that conversation with Myshkin.
Okay. Well, I think we are currently leaning on some information that our crew should all know, especially if we want to stay around everybody. I think they're a good group. I think we're a good group with them. And as long as we're not doing, our jobs, we might as well do this.
We need to report
Help
to the rest of
everyone
the
out.
Wardens.
Yes, absolutely.
We barely were able to handle one or two of those constructs. If there are
What do you mean?
whole
We had it just
headquarters-
fine.
Usually he would smile at your playful sarcasm, but there's no change in his expression. He still looks just as grim, just as tired.
She gets closer to you with that. And are you standing or sitting?
Standing. I imagine we're standing.
She gets very close to your chest and looks up because she is much shorter than you. And it's just like, I don't like that you didn't laugh at that one.
Loluphia, we very nearly had people killed.
Yes, we did.
And that was just dealing with a handful, less than a handful, of that silent kit constructs.
Yes, it was. But we're all still alive. And you can try to smile at that.
He doesn't smile.
She kind of turns away at this point. Just was looking out toward wherever we're going in the distant.
I think he stays silent for the rest of the trip.
Myshkin,
Farouk,
are you in any pain?
no. Loluphia saw to that.
Good, good. Do you...
Farouk,
Yes?
I wanted to apologize for my anger at you. It was unearned and it was misplaced. Please forgive me.
Well, I will always accept your apology, Myshkin. To feel things is to be alive. And there's no such apologizing for the existence of our condition.
In this respect, you are the most alive of all of us.
To breathe this fresh air, to go from such fear and destitute to such contentment. Those are the trials that we can only walk on this material plane. Myshkin, I hate to say that I enjoy it. And that someday when my time is up here, I will miss that roller coaster. But I will relish it for every moment that it is here.
I envy you, in a way. Your ability to focus on the here and now. It's quite inspiring. Beautiful.
I know of no other way, Myshkin. It is not a choice. It's simply learning to live.
Tell me of your ancestors.
My ancestors. They made the ultimate choice. To leave everything that they knew behind. Follow their gut and their intuition. That there was something greater than the fire underneath their feet. That day they stepped through that fiery portal and looked up and saw the sun for the first time. Gift of Osiris high in the sky. We all struggle to remember the first time as a child that we felt the warmth of the sun on our skin. But my ancestors, they know the exact day they felt it. For them, I can only imagine the revelation of what things were to come. So much hard work to ascend through the mountain, and then finally up into the clouds where we reside today. Truly unbelievable people.
This walk through the fire. Is it the end of your journey too?
I don't think so, Myshkin. Those are things my ancestors have not shown me. In fact, I have not seen the end at all. Nor have I courted it. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could ask Percy tomorrow to show me the multitude of paths. But that would take so much of the excitement away. My job is to be here for others, Myshkin. I learned that long ago. It's why I don't have a family of my own. This city, my ancestors, the people that reside in it, my friends, they all my family. As a shaman of the order, it's my job to bring them those comforts. It's what makes me happy.
Well, if nothing else, you seem to have found yourself a rather unusual housemate. And Myshkin looks in the direction of Kaivar.
Unusual. Nothing's unusual in the upper city, my friend.
Is that zucchini I smell?
Oh. He picks a little bit out of his beard. Indeed. Good knows. There's so much of it down back in the forge.
I don't think leftover zucchini smells that great.
Faroük, it does. He pulls out a small parchment paper. Been working on this bad boy the last 24 hours. There's still a small, about 20% of the loaf into the heel of that zucchini bread.
I am a bread and water man myself, but I suppose this would constitute.
He will
Myshkin just... No, please, you.
He will break it into threes. He'll take
Myshkin...
that other piece and hand it over to Kaivar.
At first, Kaivar doesn't notice you passing it over. He is still leafing through his tome, looking for something
Oh.
that he will find in about 3 minutes. Go ahead, Raven.
I think there's something just innate in Chrissy when smelling zucchini bread that he sits up, eyes closed, like not even fully like cognizant of his movement right now, and just puts his hand out.
Kaivar would 100% notice this and tear off the tiniest bit of zucchini bread and place it gently in your hands.
There's this motion of going to eat it, and he just kind of mushes it in his face before he falls back out.
Yes. What do you think, Myshkin?
It's very juicy. But it's nice. Very nice.
Yes, is good.
Ivar's trying to remember as he rifles through very absent-mindedly.
Good egg, plant, bread. Yes.
This one enjoys his bread very much. Kaiva.
Yes, bread, good. Yes.
Still
Myshkin.
rifling through.
What do you think about sourdough?
I can be convinced.
I've heard that there's a shop not far from the forge that has a special type of yeast. They make these large, round loaves. They have the slightest bit of tang to them, which can knock on them like a door. But the inside is divine. If you're a bread man, we need to investigate this sourdough.
If I am welcome near the forge, I would be happy to accompany you. How is the Oracle? How is Chrysanthemum?
You just see him passed out with like a mush of zucchini bread on his face.
I think our hero's doing very fine.
The rest is well earned.
He'll
And
recover.
is there any tarpaulin around at all?
Is there any what?
Like tarpaulin? Any like just
Tarp,
material?
you know.
Or yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, top.
like
sorry, uneducated. Only
No, no,
no
no.
tarp. I was like, is it a combination of tarp and trampoline? Is this some sort of hybrid? Yeah, there's dude.
You Americans did to an English word what we Brits do to all the French words. You took it and you shortened it. And you made your own thing.
I still maintain the French stole cul-de-sac. Myshkin is going to. Myshkin is first because you notice he is, with the exception of the purple scarf around his neck, he is very, very cold, and he just reaches down and initially like pulls over like this brown, thick, heavy sack-like cloak around him, and just using his teeth, he just tears a little bit off and gently puts this small raggedy blanket just over Chrysanthemum and just wrapping the cloak around him, just looks in the direction of Kallisto and anyway. Thank you for the bread. I think I need to rest.
If there's anything I can do to help, is he just gonna point down to where your wrists are at?
Myshkin
where to
looks
find me.
down and sort of observing these spine-like quills that poke out of the fur around his wrists, and you notice that it's shredded somewhat, the bandages that wrap around his wrists, and for the first time you see where the wrist should meet hands, there are long, healed-over scars. And Myshkin just looks at you and... I know.
and he disappears to sit on a nearby crate or barrel, whatever is around.
I think after you walk away, that he would take his enchanted healer's wraps and unbind those and just set them to the side somewhere where your stuff was at, where you could find them if you needed a new set of wraps. Just kind of leave them there.
Myshkin eyes them and just nods at you.
As you start to take that seat, Ivar turns to the page that he's been looking for. Studying through a variety of tales, some ones are bound to stick out, particularly those of daring exploits. And there's always been something strange about the symmetry of this group of 6 heroes, and something about the last encounter made it click for Ivar. And as he turns this page, he walks over to Farouk and motions. Farouk, look. And you start to see the story unfold on the page. I'm gonna go ahead and say roll a, there would be history, but I suppose society check on this one. Society, occultism, or religion.
Good at all these, baby.
Yeah.
Let's do that plus 16 religion. And a 5.
How much do you know about Tales of Celestials, I guess?
Celestials jam-packed.
You would recognize the story on the page. A story that is referred to in allegory as the Last Dance. This is a page that displays the myth in grand scope and scale. And it speaks about the meeting of heaven and earth's forces alongside those of the fires of those that came from below. 3 forces on each side, some infernal, some celestial, each sending a champion, 6 in total. Each of them represented by a star drake. As these 6 solar dragons start to weave together, there's clear symmetry. Within this story, Ivar can start to see parallels, but the most remarkable of all of them is that one of the celestial servants, a servant of the void, something from far beyond, is a striking resemblance to certain features that you might know from Nixie, one of the celestial servants.
Isn't that surprising, looking like this through a new set of eyes? Seen this many of times and never made the correlation.
Ivar will slowly start to point out a few other things. He will point towards yourself, towards Myshkin, and over towards the helm, where you can still see Kallisto is standing. And it clicks. 3 connected by fire, by something born out of the plane of fire and the infernal realms. And the bit that's confusing most of all, until it clicks as well. Another 3, born out of either something divine or something that comes from the stars. Ivar points over towards Chrysanthemum and Loluphia, and hesitantly points at himself.
Some
night.
from above, others from below, all from beyond, together. The last dance. Yes, yes.
That's quite the assumption, Kaivar.
But-
But I see it.
Yes.
I won't deny the similarities. How long have you been? Is this what you've been looking for, Kaivar?
Yes, yes. Since, Chrissy, he, and you see Kaivar point back to the page. The Stardrake servant sent forth by what looks to be the visage of Nixie is holding in an avatar form that is ethereal and celestial and divine in a similar sense to what we just saw. But most importantly of all, there's that same kind of crystalline shield, as in their left hand they hold something that looks like a structure.
This is a lot to take in.
Farouk, does history, go again? Yes, no?
You hear a very groggy Chrissy, who is now wiping this zucchini bread from his face. History repeats. It always has. It always will. We are destined to flow in cycles. We are destined to repeat the same mistakes and learn the same lessons. I'm tired. And he just turns over.
Yes, Chrissy. Then this page, this story, name wrong, yes? This not last dance, this dance is new?
This dance is just that, Kaivar. A dance in which we learn the steps only to forget them again. It is the fragility in which we find ourselves in on this plane. It is beautiful and elegant and terrifying.
Ivar looks back to the page and tries to make out any meaning from what's been inscribed. A story from a culture and a place that he's never been to, but has clearly been at least transcribed by an ancestor, or transcribed by someone who was able to pass that knowledge on to one of them. Story long ago from somewhere far off, but the signs are clearly repeated. 3 beings from above and 3 from below, joining together. What they will face, they do not know.
Farouk's just gonna sit down with you and soak this whole scene in and just follow you as you trace over it all.
Chrissy rolls back over to kind of get a better look at this. And I dare say he instantly recognizes the figure in the picture, the Celestial. It is one of his own. It is no secret that he has been reincarnated after a time, and this may seem very much like a far-off past, but for him, it is the blink of an eye. This is at least 2 reincarnations ago. There are dreads on the figure's head, a scar across his eye. There is a fierceness in his body that is not often seen in Chrysanthemum, but the eyes directly reflect his own. This is Zephyr.
Chrissy, you know this one? Yes? No?
He very weakly scoots towards the book, kind of collapsing underneath himself for a second, and he uses his forearm to press himself up, and he reaches. He is me.
He looks, brave to this one, Kaiva. Yes.
He was.
Like you.
And I am. There's a distant look that kind of lingers in his eye for a second as he smiles before looking up, casting his gaze upward to the sky, and there's just laughter. I think a lot is clicking for him right now. The conversation with Nixie, the admission of emotion that has kind of plagued him this time. The connections are all starting to make sense, and it is very much like that gif of just the math equations floating across his face. I have known all of you, and I didn't even know it.
Percy, you know what the good news is?
Yes. He nods for a second and then shakes his head. No. Yes? No.
We got plenty of time. Because this is the last dance. Not the first.
About that, I might have had a conversation with Nixie where this really is going to be my last dance before I return to the stars because I'm old and tired.
Not yet. He's going to pick you up.
No, please, whoa. Just a little slower next time, big guy. Okay.
Oh, I got
tears
this.
off another piece of zucchini bread and passes it up to you really quickly. Just like, oh.
Oh, the sun's not out. Dang it, I don't get that plus. Here comes my performance. I don't get to roll my dance performance enough. We dancing.
I before like the dance starts, like there's a very like intimate moment with this crumb of zucchini bread as he's just eyeing it like, yes, I've waited my whole life for this. And he like is slowly about to like take a bite and just like savor it as Farouk just starts going and he loses the bread, like it flies out of his hand and you just see very slow mo.
With a 31, we circle back around and you're able to snag that sucker.
You just see it, got it, and shoving it in my face. Oh, this is so, it's been so long. Oh my God.
And we can feel the airship slowly descending as we begin to pull into port. Far off in the horizon, you can just begin to see a few rays of next day's sunshine sprouting through. And with that warmth...
You did an all-nighter.
Oh, yeah. With that little bit of residual warmth that begins to head our way. Even though everyone is very tired from the evening's heroics, can't help but feel very level 8.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm feeling level 10.
I feel really level 8 right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling level 10 right now. Actually.
I mean, I'm actually feeling, kind of level 12, but I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
Like, if we're going with what we're feeling.
And I posted it inside of chat, but I never really got to specifically tell you, Myshkin, that your Magitech hands also work as a traveler's any tool. So they can take the form of any simple tool. Thieves' tools, hammers, shovels.
Can you make a crowbar out of that thing?
Yeah.
Man, we got a mechanic, y'all.
I'm gonna beat some Silent Gear Joker style.
What's your
2 hammers.
crafting? I'm really
You want to
curious,
see how I
what's
got
your
these
crafting
scars?
check, Myshkin?
What'd you say, Drak?
What was that, Drak?
What's your crafting?
Oh, let me have a look. It's probably not good.
I think it's intelligence based, right? I think.
Let's have a look. +5.
Could be better, could be worse.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know, I have 110 hit points. Thank you. That is all.
God damn. Ah.
As once we reach Stormforge, depending on what people are doing, Myshkin does try, or he wants to try to get Kallisto to one side.
Wally would go by herself to start reporting things to wardens and leave Kallisto alone.
Would you make a beeline to start reporting? Because I think Kallisto would just be like heading straight to report to the wardens. So would like make a beeline to beat him there?
Yeah, unless Myshkin wants to intercept, because I feel like we have stuff to report.
Myshkin is just gonna try and sidle up to Kallisto. He knows he's not wanted, but he just wants to say something.
As you side, I think this is on the way to the offices where we're going to report this. Imagine Loluphia is a little bit ahead, just probably a few steps, but I think the moment Myshkin kind of saddles up next to Kallisto, he doesn't look at you, don't turn around. I don't even really slow down. But I say, what do you want? Loluphia already told me everything about the Voshborg and the Silent Gear, so we have that sorted, or will.
I know you don't trust me, Kallisto. I saw the way that you looked at me when we walked through the fire together. I know I can do little to change that. And I won't apologize for putting Loluphia in harm's way because she is immensely capable.
Trust me, I'm aware.
But I apologize for the worry it must have caused you.
Is that all you wanted to say?
Yes.
You need to stop nearly dying.
I have you to thank for only nearly.
Is there anything else?
Myshkin shakes his head and just steps away from you.
And he will continue into the office, I think close behind Loluphia, to begin the report.
Kind of watching it play out a little bit, Chrissy would wait a moment before Myshkin would feel like a gentle tug at his ankle.
Oh, hello.
Hey there, friend. And he does like an awkward finger gun. Bad timing, sorry. I'm not with it right now. You know.
I think that makes 6 of us.
Yes, that's fair. Yes, okay. So here you go. And there's this small vial that he holds out, filled with green flame and the angry visage of a demon.
Why does he look angrier than when I last saw him?
Apparently I talk a lot.
No.
And he didn't like pina coladas. Who doesn't like pina coladas? What kind of demon in this world or the next doesn't like pina coladas?
The white suits you.
Oh. This? It's white already? Damn. Thanks. I don't look older, right? I don't look like older. Like I look older, like, but not like older. And he like kind of like hunches himself over a little bit.
Chrysanthemum?
Yeah, I'm talking too much again, aren't I? Okay.
You are particularly stunning.
I think there's actually a blush. Like that just kind of brushes across the bridge of his nose, and it kind of lights up these very small freckles along his cheeks. And he just like, thank you. Here you go.
I promised you a story in return for it.
I don't know if I can handle a story right now. You just complimented me and I liked it. Okay, here.
Myshkin just presses your palm
closed around the vial, and I am too tired to tell it.
I guess that's fair. And okay, thanks. Okay, bye. And he is flustered. There is fluster here. So he kind of just like tucks it at his hip and goes, I'll talk to you when you're not tired. Okay. And he just kind of like scuttles off. Lily, I need you. Where are you? Lily.
Lily's gonna bowl you over.
Oh, come on.
Corgi butt going a mile a minute.
It's just, it's too much. It's too much. I'm tired. Okay, fine. Yes, hello. Yeah, okay. I love you. Okay, yep. Yeah, oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Stop it. What? Do I smell weird? Stop, don't. That's my armpit. All right, come on. Get out of there. Jesus.
Ivar
You want
hides the
bacon?
rest of the zucchini bread.
You want bacon? Okay. Yes. All right. Cool. We'll get you some bacon. Can you just pick me up, please? I don't want to walk anymore. And you just see like this little sprite just like fall over and is like playing dead.
Goes and just stretches his back out. Goes for the long dog maneuver.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm climbing. I got it. And Chrissy just kind of like leans over Lily and is like, okay, you can go now. And then like looks back over to Myshkin and instantly blushes and is just like, go that way.
Myshkin smiles a little at this and, looking for Farouk and presumably Kaivar, just walks towards you with this brown shawl he has reappropriated as his current cloak, and if it is not too much of a presumption, if I may request a floor to sleep on tonight.
Of course. Of course.
And as Myshkin nods and thanks, you notice that wrapped around his wrists, hiding the presence of the metal spines along his forearm, are the bandages that you left for him.
He smiles. Let's see if we can't get ourselves a meal out of the Amber Forge before we head all the way up, though.
Of course.
Not everyone's angry to see us, after all.
There's a very small like sound of I'm coming with you as like Lily is dragging Chrissy away.
And as all these conversations are happening, I assume that since Lolly was a little bit ahead of Kallisto, she didn't even notice that he wasn't there because she's probably engulfed in a conversation with Kilthud, very much back into her like militaristic kind of conversation of like, okay, we need to tell them about this one, and this is where you need to go and turn in this ship. Make sure you get it repaired, and then also ask off work.
What?
Exactly.
His
and she like takes
bloodshot
a clipboard
eyes.
from him that she had handed to him to go over the list. It's like, I will take care of this.
Okay. I could use the day off. Thank you.
Go take the day off. And she puts her hand on Gilthud's shoulder and just kind of lightly pushes him, landing like a gentle nudge of, go on, get out of here.
He's gonna stumble out into the sunlight and that like almost doesn't know what to do. He kind of looks left and right and he's like, back to my house.
And she doesn't look behind her, but assumes Kallisto is there. And I don't know if you're there yet. You can let me know if you are, but she's just looking at this clipboard while still walking and saying out loud, we're going to have to convince that he is not drunk, too.
You look back at his
He didn't
desk.
slow down, so...
What'd you say, Drak?
Oh, I just said Kallisto didn't slow down while he was speaking to Myshkin, so I think he is
so
still
you
right
could
behind
hear.
you. Yeah.
And then she stops and turns around and is like, what's your story? Do we tell them the truth? Because I don't know if that'll go over well with at least the elders.
I think when you say that, he kind of pauses and looks to you. Of course we tell them the truth. Why wouldn't we tell them the truth?
Well, it's different when it's you and I just involved. But this is a whole other organization that we've not had any dealings with. That's not what we do. And I don't know if we would get reported.
Or telling people that this exists. I don't think we can get reported. I think this would be greatly appreciated.
What do you mean? It's
There's
outside
a
of our
whole
jurisdiction.
organization. Which is why we're handing it over to possibly people who can deal with this.
Well, then I think that might be a lie. Because I don't know if I'm ready to hand it over.
Why? There are people who deal with this kind of stuff. We don't.
Yes and no. I mean, we deal with very dangerous things. It's normal. I don't know why that seems so extraordinary. However, from the very little that I have learned from Myshkin about this silent gear, we need to protect our son. Because he is magical. And they evidently do not like that.
Kallisto, I think, just looks confused. The tiredness is still very much clearly there. I think in this moment, he seems older, just from the stress and the weariness, the tiredness of everything that went on today. Yes, we need to protect our son. And the best way to do that is to hand this over to people who can handle this.
But can
We
they?
have the manpower to handle this.
Sure, but you know what they have in her, like, kind of nodding toward the silent gear. They have our information. They know who we are. And we don't know who they are. And I don't like that. And you know that I won't just step away from something that has to do with our family. And it's not something I can control. So it's a problem.
Then we can speak to the wardens. We can tell them that we want to be on this still, but still hand this over to the people with the equipment, the manpower, the know-how to deal with this. I'm fine, and I'll be frank with you, I would love to continue on this. I agree with you that we can't just step away, but we can't hide things. They need to know what they're coming up against, or we'll just be putting their lives in danger.
She just stands there and crossing her arms, clipboard kind of hanging by her side out of one of her hands, and just nods. You are correct. Then it is settled. We will not take no for an answer. We will stay on this, but we will tell them the truth. She kind of turns around a little too happily about this, but very much in agreement with you. But probably over-agreeing. Who knows? She might have other thoughts in her head.
I don't think he reads too much into it. I think he's so exhausted. He's just like, okay, cool, we agree. Let's keep going then.
And we
yeah,
do.
we'll follow suit.
After clicking the lock on the boat car, beep, just making sure nobody takes. Kallisto and Lolly go into the building.
As you all both make an about face, leaving the warden's port, you see a collection of Stormforge Cavalier Guard. Gathered promptly outside the front. One individual captain dismounts and sets their pole arm to the side and begins walking in that full set of clad plate mail armor towards the entrance of the Warden's Port.
Do they look at us?
They haven't seen you yet.
Does the arrival of them seem too just coincidental?
That's up to you.
How far away is the Warden's Port from the site that we landed the recycling plant?
Good ways away.
Good ways away? Okay. I want to roll for it to see if Kallisto thinks this is odd. Because I feel like there are reasons why, like, we technically just landed a flying building in a place where it's probably not meant to be, so it's understandable that law enforcement will be coming to for questioning.
And it's not a it's about 5 or 6.
Okay.
In this, it's
Can I roll for perception as well?
You can, but you guys have exited before the Cavalier came up. The only ones.
So we're already gone.
Everybody's out except for
Got it.
Lolly and Kallisto.
We have boring job stuff to do.
I'll roll for
Work. Go have
And
drinks
poor
for us.
I don't
Kel'Thud.
think.
Kel'Thud is not being questioned. Dear God.
Could you imagine? There would definitely be no convincing that he wasn't at least drunk. No way. I'll roll perception too. Why not?
Oh.
No, I won't. Just kidding.
Yeah,
She is marching
Kallisto-
straight forward.
It's
Yeah,
the
Kallisto-
ones
No thoughts in the
for
world.
20s, okay? We rolled the 20s. We needed them. We can roll these ones right now.
I've
It's
taken
fine.
2 of your ones.
I think both Kallisto and Loluphia are like, yeah, this makes sense after everything that went down. This makes sense for them to show up. And I think Loluphia will definitely notice this, but very warily, you feel you can sense his demeanor change as he puts on that mask again, that pleasant, I guess I always describe it as customer service expression as they get ready to interact with this Cavalier.
Feeling that, she would just really gently take her left hand and reach out to your right hand and just lace her fingers with yours as you walk alongside one another. She gives you a little squeeze of like, don't worry, we're almost done.
Yeah, he's so tired. Like, usually it's incredible, it's impeccable, this like quote unquote persona he puts on, but there are definitely cracks in it right now. He deeply needs his time to rest, but there's no rest for the wicked.
It'll be a fast conversation, she said with a nat 1.
Yeah, we head straight to the Cavaliers.
Excuse me, wardens.
Yes.
Yeah, that's us.
The officer takes his helmet off. We have some strange reports this morning.
Would love to hear them. Shall we go inside?
If you have the time, I won't make it long.
Good, because someone needs to get some rest.
Understood.
Lolly walks past the officer, still holding Kallisto's hand, probably a little step ahead of him now, more as a leader scenario. And she's like, all right, well, come on in. Let's get it over with.
So, is there anything you can tell me that gently fell out of the sky this morning?
Well, what reports have you heard that they was?
Some sort of floating factory. Encompassed in purple light. No propellant. You understand why this would be of extreme concern.
Lolly shifts her cloak to be over her necklace as it lights up. And she's talking to Kallisto. Do you want to answer that one?
Kallisto doesn't reply telepathically, but immediately replies to this officer. Yes, actually, that's one of the things we were just coming in to report. We're not entirely sure how it worked out, but that it was a recycling plant, by the way. It seems like that the recycling plant is connected to the silent gear. And when we followed the trail...
Silent gear.
Trust me, I had the same reaction.
I don't want to pry too far into your business, whether you believe that it's a silent gear facility or not. We're much more concerned about its landing. If you could file this report under classified nature, it would be most appreciated.
Of course, things we discuss as wardens stay between us.
Whatever happened this morning is an anomaly, and I'm sure that our academics in good time can explain exactly how those systems malfunctioned and then aided in the swift delivery of the floating factory.
Yes, well, since you asked, we'll be reporting this, of course, but just for your information, we saw no way it could have done that. Quite frankly, we were worried that it would land, but more violently. But for whatever reason, I can't tell how or why, it seemed to have some kind of precautions and it seemed magical in nature.
If we could.
Lies to them to say that it was just a thing that the building could do for some reason.
Like we said, it was a silent gear. We don't know what they're capable of. Unless you have more knowledge on them than we do.
If, and it is a big if a silent gear is involved in if they even exist, would certainly not be using magical means. Please, like I said, use your discretion and classify. However, we would, if you truly believe what you say, our superiors would be interested in a few more questions. Not today.
Thank you.
Yes, let us know when, and we'll be happy to answer any questions they have.
Perception check against your deception.
A deception? Okay.
Do I have to roll deception too?
Deception.
You can do it as an advantage if you want.
For advantage?
Oh, what is yours at? Is yours higher than mine?
Mine's a plus 16.
Yeah. You do it at advantage.
Okay.
Mine's only a 13.
And let's see if I have anything to any.
We're such great liars for not being liars.
I'm going to use a D. I don't have a D10. I'm going to use.
We should have them in the party hand.
A party hand. I don't think I have a D10, but I have a D8.
There is a
I use a
D8.
D8.
Double checking this
There we
Streamlabs
go.
log as well. What we got today.
Yeah. Is there? Oh, okay. There's a +2.
Yes, we have one in the
Oh,
you could do a +3.
You have a D10?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Just pick that.
Keep the higher.
Yeah. Oh, nat 20.
I take all the ones so y'all don't have
Oh.
to. Keep going.
You know, matter of fact, just scratch that. Just no need for any more excessive paperwork.
We appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Just classify this one and we'll move on. Thank you.
Are you going to investigate it further?
He looks down at his watch. As early as this call has been, no.
All right. Let us know if you know of any more information that comes through. We'd like to hear.
Nods his head. My name is Owen.
Nice to meet you, Owen.
It's a pleasure.
Loluphia and Kallisto and Bahat.
If anything else strange happens, here's my card.
Callisto will take it between his two fingers. Thank you.
Owen Rivenmar posting that inside our chat. Captain of City Guard Cavalier Patrol.
About this Owen guy, have we seen him in association with anybody in particular?
No, this is one of your first
a
dealings
City
with
Guard?
Cavalier City Guard. This is not a Sky Marshal.
Okay. They don't work at all together.
Those are two different sects.
Okay. Before you go, Owen, just a quick question. What do you think of those Voshborg that come around? A little creepy, right?
Rather not see him.
You know anything about them? They're interesting.
They're a bit above my pay grade.
I understand that. Sometimes we have to deal with things that are above our pay grade. Don't ever be afraid.
I'd rather not know the things that they're doing, what they're sanctioned for. Doesn't quite sit
is that?
right.
How come? What have you heard? And she leans in and like puts her chin on her hand, just on the elbow on the table. Like, go on.
Nothing in particular. It's just sometimes thinking's can be taken too far in the name of science, that's all.
What do you mean?
As he gets up on top of his
Okay.
horse. Not everyone's supposed to live forever. It's a rabbit hole I don't wish to go down.
Did Ollie know that info? That Voshborg live forever? Because I only had one encounter with them. Or would that be knowledge once you learn about them, like people would mention?
Yeah, Voshborg augment themselves
Okay.
biologically.
Yeah, I agree. That'd kind of suck.
I'll take my allotted time here, and after all, I've most of it's work anyway, so I would rather not.
I
Thank you.
understand. Callie, do you have any questions for Owen, right? Before they leave?
No, just thank you for the good work you do.
Thank you.
And of course, if you need any wardens, come to us first. And like you, Owen. Have a good day.
Have a good rest of your day.
Well, what do you think about that conversation? She says, turning to Kallisto.
I'm not entirely sure what to make of it. I'll be quite honest. But one thing is clear. Our friend made a bit of a spectacle. So we're going to have to figure out some way to explain that
A
away.
bit. Have you met him? He's already a spectacle. You can see him in the market screaming his head off about stuff all the time. But at least it was pretty.
Yes, but it's having people poke in a wrong direction and for the wrong reasons. So we might have to think of a way to explain that part of the story away.
Did you still want to tell the wardens, or?
Still think we should tell the wardens.
All she's thinking of is dealing with what's his nuts again. The old guy just always drinking. I can't remember his name. I gotta look at my notes. But him.
We couldn't have found you if it wasn't for Kilthud with the ship and the help of Chrissy. If this is
Oh,
bigger
wait, what do you
than
mean?
just that, we didn't know where you were. I picked up bits.
Yeah,
and
so how
pieces
did
of
you
your-
find me? I know I couldn't quite give you directions. I was blinded on my way there. Great times.
Yes. No. With the very apt description you gave, a flying box.
I had 2 seconds before I was charged, so...
Yes. No. It was enough. We were able to narrow it down to 2 locations, but they're on either side of Stormforge. I called up Kilthud, and he took, I believe, the west. I took the east. But it turned out
It's pretty smart.
you were on the west. And I can only explain as divine intervention, most likely thanks to Chrissy, we ended up on the ship that Kilthud was taking to the west.
How does that happen? She's just thinking of all these scenarios that don't make sense in her head.
I don't know, but with
I'll have
just
to
that
ask him about it
alone,
later.
we weren't able to efficiently deal with that small situation. If this is bigger, has the Voshborg involved, we're going to need more people.
Yes. We also are going to need more information, which means we're going to have to talk more to somebody that you do not enjoy being around right now. Because
What else
they
is
have
there
a lot
for
of
him
information.
to say? We know is the Voshborg.
I don't know. I know that Myshkin's not going to lie. However, I also know he's not just going to say. And he's also not going to be comfortable until somebody else feels comfortable again. She just looks at you.
I'll speak to him. We have a job to do. So
Kallisto. She just stands up and puts her hand on your shoulder. We can talk about more of this later. You need sleep, but clearly, let's go tell the wardens and get you to bed.
yes, Kallisto will also stand up with a slight groan as he gets up.
Oh my gosh, you're breaking apart.
More ways than one.
As the party heads back to the Amber Forge, reunited again. That is where we will pick up next week with many choices of locations to investigate.
Ooh.
At nat 20!
Them nat 20s.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Hey,
those
So
three.
many this session.
session ended
That's
as it
what
began.
happens.
I
It's
mean,
like, I had 2 1s. Stop. It's okay. You don't have to congratulate me.
You're the new
And-
Adam. You're the new Adam.
Yeah, Meteorian Core, it was just like, hell yeah, salmon 20s makes sense. And then it's whatever the hell this campaign is. It's like, yeah, 1s and Sam makes sense.
also,
dear.
next episode is episode natural 20 as well. It's
Hey,
our
yo.
20th episode, which
Hey,
is
yo.
wild.
All level 8. Let's go. It
I
is.
was already looking at some stuff and messing with it, and I have no idea what I did, but I like it.
I'll let you know that
I
level
already-
8 is the readathon.
Yep.
Oh,
there's
I
a lot.
I read. I already put stuff in there,
There's
but I
a
gotta figure out
lot
how to do it.
of choices.
I built my character out up until level 12. So I can just
I fucking knew
No,
you would
weaving
have.
it in.
Of all the people to be concerned over, my least concerned.
Yeah.
So how many D20 damage do you do this round?
Well, if I'm really
Those are
angry.
D100s.
They're D100s actually. No, I took a lot of stuff that I think really leans into the fact that Kallisto despises the divine.
I was just say Myshkin.
He despises.
Well,
There's
I
one-
mean,
there's
I'm
one
literally
feat-
sitting right here. You can just say Kallisto hates Chrissy.
No, I mean he has no. He's very neutral. I think like slightly lower than neutral about Chrissy and a lot more lower than neutral about Myshkin. But no, he
How-
just doesn't like the divine.
How many times of great divine intervention have to happen in front of Kallisto before he finally breaks and accepts
At
that
least
it's
20.
a part of the universe? And
He's not mad because the thing is, he's not like, oh, I hate this is the part of the universe. He just doesn't fuck with it. Like he just doesn't care for it. It doesn't mean that like he doesn't believe in it or that it doesn't come in handy. But he's fully aware that he can just handle himself.
I guess there's a difference between belief and faith. Like, you
Right.
can
Yeah.
believe those things are out there, but not wish to engage with them, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what Chrissy asked Lolly.
Those people
an
don't like to
earlier
roll
episode was,
D20s
"Do
in
you
my
have
mind."
faith?"
you don't like rolling D20s, D100s. I live my life by chance.
No, yeah, he just doesn't fuck with the divine. And I think like story-wise, even Drak doesn't know. I think I just mentioned it like in passing once. I was like, I think that's just gonna be a thing about him, that he has this innate like dislike of the divine.
But the thing that's interesting, and which is why, I don't know, in Myshkin's view, he was really hurt by your reaction to seeing his actual hands, is we literally had a conversation where Myshkin was like, oh yeah, me either, I hate the idea of the divine. I hate the idea of like religion. And I was
And
like,
there's Chrissy
yeah,
popping up.
I,
Like,
I don't know if I want to explain where.
No. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to get into it. But like from Myshkin's point of view, because I think Myshkin sees the place that the divine has in the world, which is why he has so much respect for what it is that Chrissy does. But in terms of the depths that religion can go, I think that's what. Yeah.
Oh, for
scares.
sure.
Yeah.
Chrissy
Also,
has
Lolly's divine, so that's even funnier.
Chrissy
I-
has
I
this
try.
big magician, arcane, and divine energy, and Farouk has big golden retriever, youth pastor energy. Of like, I'll get him next round of zucchini bread, you know.
I'm always here, brother. What do you need?
And what's funny is like Chrissy is not like religious. Like he is like very much, you know what it is? Like, Farouk is like the old, like, youth pastor, and Chrissy is like the new school youth pastor, like showing up with like, you know, pride flags and stuff. And it's just like, yeah, okay, like, believe what you believe, honey. Like, yes, you're doing great. Honey, like, your hair's a little bit too much to the left. Come on, like, let's just fix that. Because he's not very religious. So it's really funny that there's a lot of like these, not necessarily preconceived notions, but there's enough of that stereotype where it's still like Chrissy still gets met with it, even though he hasn't really done anything to perpetuate those stereotypes. So it's really interesting.
No, because yours is just more about divination in general. It's not like I have to do like everything that Nixie says I will do. Like there's a freedom there, but like he knows that his purpose was literally to be the mouthpiece of the heavens. Like you can take that and run with it, and I will, like, he will guide you. But if you don't want it, then cool. Like I tried. I respect. If you need me, I'm here. Like, appreciate you.
Yeah, I will say he doesn't care, like, he's not religious either, but he doesn't have like a disdain for religion. He just doesn't like, I think he just doesn't like gods. That's I believe he just doesn't like gods.
And that's
like
fair.
Like they can do their own business, but he wants no part of them. He's not gonna like riot on the streets, have temples shut down and stuff, but he's not gonna go to a temple if he has a choice.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of his vibe, and he doesn't know why. Like he just has like whenever he goes near it, like I think I described it to Sam, like while Lolly and Kallisto have been married, Lolly would definitely have noticed like he will purposely take a different route not to walk by a temple. Like it could be a bit longer, but he'll be like, let's go this way instead. Or if he does have to go past that route, he'll be on the other side of the road. Like he just doesn't care for it. He wants no part of it, but he won't judge people if they do.
And it's the entire society of Stormforge reinforces that to where it's a chuckling matter. It's a very you believe in little gods, and I'm sure there was a great magic that lowered that entire floating recycle plant all the way down to the perfect place. I'm sure it wasn't engineered to do so.
Yep. I'm excited.
Also, Bife, just a moment, like that. Anytime you have an opportunity to like describe something, like I'm half tempted for like the rest of us to call in sick one day just so we can have a one-on-one session between you and RoBear, just because I want to hear the two of you have a narrate off. I love that.
Just keep describing the picture of The Last Dance.
It's honestly, it was stunning. So stunning.
Let's just say that I have been, ever since you revealed the reality of Myshkin's nature, the symmetry of everything kind of clicked into place. And I've been sitting on that for a few episodes now and thinking to myself, is there a way that this symmetry can manifest? And I always wondered, and I was like, this is a good time to do it. Because now it feels as though, I mean, like, Lolly kind of made the decision to a certain extent. It's referred to now as the group, right? We are actually all back together. Having this moment to tie it all in makes sense. And again, symmetry is brilliant. There are 3 people in this party that have some kind of relation to the plane of fire and infernal things, and the other 3 either come from some divine aspect or come from the stars, or kind of both in the case of Chrissy. So like, you know, that beautiful, weird symmetry that we've got as a group, with all of our eccentricities, but also with all of that clear divide down the middle. I think it's a really beautiful thing of saying like, hey, despite differences, everyone here is coming together. I'm so hyped to see how everyone goes with it too, because like, this is exactly what I wanted to do with Kaivar. I wanted to build everybody's legends, you know.
But
I'm just here in the corner with everybody's signs, being like, yeah, you rolled that 20.
But it's also so interesting to see these kind of strange inversions happening, or not inversions, but like, I don't know, like looking at like Kallisto, how welcoming and open he was in the first session, and now like there is this kind of distrust that's sort of like manifesting in these interesting ways, and Loluphia slowly opening up and Myshkin opening up, and like the way that sort of Kaivar is slowly getting to understand the way to express himself, and with Chrissy just like, I mean, basically being God.
Chrissy is just Chrissy. Chrissy is just like, look at me, fabulous. Look at the hair now. It's because I'm exhausted. I done spent all this energy like trying to save y'all asses. Like, we're good, right? We cool now? Like, we're good now?
You went from
No?
reading street
Okay.
fortunes to manipulating the time weave. The glow up is strong. The glow up has been strong.
And when Myshkin like complimented him, like he hasn't been complimented like that by another man in millennia. And he's just like, oh, I'm on the market, bestie. Look at me. Hair flip.
You all will have to see how all of this, as they come together for a meal before slumber, and where they head to next. Clock Tower? Recycle Center? Somewhere else?
Round 6, a party split.
Do we all get kicked out of the house?
Go, baby.
We'll see. I'll see you all next Wednesday.